at all is found in the S&P 500. We've been keeping a close eye on this particular area and space for one key reason. Now, there may be some of you who have seen the movie The Big Short. It's actually a great film about one of the people who was betting on the crash of the housing prices in early 2008. They actually had made that bet somewhere in 2006, and they ended up started creating a lot of the financial instruments that were needed to actually make those bets, all the derivatives, the swaps on the debt, all that fun stuff. But they saw the wave coming years in advance. Now, what's interesting about this, I think, is in that movie, there was a point when they realized that they were going to be correct, and some of the other people who were making that trade started to get excited about how much money they were going to make. They were quickly hit with the realization that if they are correct, that this means the loss of jobs, housing, as well as finance and other important aspects of livelihood for the average individual. This is one of those things that we're seeing today. In order for Bitcoin to really do well, we're going to have to see a breakdown in the rest of the markets, which means it's going to cost a lot of people a lot of money. That's not always a great thing. If our bet works out, that means it's actually at the loss of many other people. This is very often in life how capitalism might work. If you sell a stock at the top and you take profit and then the stock goes down, you've essentially allowed someone to enter a price that they're going to lose in. It's a very difficult philosophical part to take in the conversation if you are worried about what others might think of you. But on the offhand, free markets don't allow everyone to see who it is that sold them what, and now they are left bag holding. Now, the interesting part here, what I'm most, invest in understanding is, does the dollar crash sending the stock market higher, or does the stock market crash sending the dollar higher? I think if the stock market crashes, that would be a short-term negative for Bitcoin. Although if the stock market continues to go up here, is it at the cost of the degradation of the dollar? So as we see, the S&P 500 is currently sitting at 28.3 right now, trying to break out into its previous highs. Now, we could stipulate that this may be a right-hand shoulder that's starting to form on the S&P 500, which would be another big downturn for this particular instrument in the future. But we're going to have to keep a close eye on it because there's a massive amount of support and resistance coming in right here, where we have this big volume profile gap to around the 2084, 2087 mark. Now, I actually thought we would stop around I thought the B wave would stop here at around 270, or the 2700 if you look at it not on the S&P 5, not on the SPY, but on just the index itself. It's sitting at 2800, I believe. S&P is like a derivative. The SPY is an index of that same movement, so it's 1,000 points less. Anyways, the point, or 10 times less, 10 times less. Yes, 2700. 2800 is where it would be sitting at. So the point of this here is, if we don't break out, we still haven't found any new support. And this is a big key point of interest, because I'm still bearish on Bitcoin. But as we see, the stock market went higher, the dollar went lower. We see that inverse correlation between the previous movement in the S&P 500 and the dollar itself, moving to the idea that the degradation in the dollar itself actually creates more room for the stock market to go up, because you need more of that dollar that's worth less to buy the underlying asset. It's a very interesting part of this theory to keep in mind. Now, when we go to Bitcoin's price, the one we've been following through very heavily, we see that we've been following this little triangle. Now, I drew this in here about a month ago. I suspect that we are aiming to hit that $4,200 mark, but now that we've hit the 100-day exponential moving average around the 4090, this is going to be a key point of rejection. I'm actually going to exit all of my positions here in the next 24 hours to wait this out. Whether it goes positive or negative, it's not worth the risk of the upside to the $5,200 area on the risk to the downside, which again, in my mind, is the $2,500 to $1,600 area more imminently. So we're keeping a close eye on Bitcoin and the rest of the prices here. I think as we dive into Litecoin, I think what's happened is a lot of people get really excited because the moves start to look so staggering again. When you go from roughly $20 to $60 in Litecoin, these moves get a lot of people excited, and that excitement, the FOMO, the fear of missing out, really starts to set in, and they think, oh, well, Litecoin was back up at $300. If I get it at 60, that's a great deal. And they might be right, but I myself have learned to be a lot more patient with my emotions in this game. I suspect that Litecoin's lowest entry point that I'm looking for is somewhere around the $15 mark. That's where I believe we will probably extend down to, and could even go as low as 10. But I'm keeping a close eye on this as well, because I don't want to get caught not in FUD or FOMO. I like to remain as balanced as possible. Taking a look at Ethereum here as well. Again, drawing almost an identical triangle to what Bitcoin had been doing. It's hit its 100-day exponential moving average now. It's finding support or resistance there. So now do we get to find out, do we fall down further? Again, $120 is the next point off of that triangle, and another big part of our volume profile fill. As you can see, we hit the oversold mark the last time we jumped out past the 100-day exponential moving average, and now that we've hit it, we are stuck between the 50 and 47 RSI area. So I think this is a very, very pivotal point over the next 2 weeks here, especially with the strength in the S&P 500. This is where I want to pay the most attention to, because investing relies on us keeping a broader view and a broader perspective on everything that's taking place. Now, none of this is an investment advice, nor should it ever be misconstrued as such. I'm just going through my process of learning. But what's interesting is that we know that when the blockchain and cryptocurrency space moves, it moves very, very quickly. So if we roll over to CoinGecko here and take a look at the cryptocurrency global market cap charts, we can see over the last, let's go back to just give us the data up to 2017. So up until 2017, we've been floating around we went, let's follow from April here. In April 2017, we were sitting at approximately a $30 billion market cap. By July of that same year, we were at 86, so we had more than doubled the market cap in just a few short months. This was on the way to the run to $20,000 for Bitcoin. And as you can see here, in October, when Bitcoin was only around $3,000, we were already at a market cap of $170 billion, significantly higher than we are today. That means we know that there is a significant amount more momentum coming into this ecosystem from all of the blockchain indicators than just Bitcoin. This is extremely important. The global market cap at its peak hit 786 billion, and this was not just in Bitcoin. Do we have I wonder if there's a way to actually keep track of the date and what Bitcoin's price was on market cap was on January. Let's see. I'm going to open this up here, CoinGecko. I should have done this beforehand. CoinGecko, let's go to the full-time Bitcoin chart and see what the market cap was on that particular day, if it will let us do that. I'm not sure if it will. Hopefully it does. No market cap. There we go. There's market cap. Perfect. Just take a second to load here. Beautiful. So this is where the Bitcoin dominance chart starts to make a little more sense. It's not just the dominance in control, it's the dominance in market capitalization. And that's kind of an abstract feeling, again, because we know that value is only sentimental. There's no underlying value to any of this, or the fiat system itself. So let's make sure it's clear here. There's no underlying value to anything. There is no intrinsic value to anything. So here we were at the top of the $20,000 Bitcoin price with almost a $300 billion market cap in Bitcoin alone. Yet when we go back, we look at the overall market cap, we are sitting at over 800 billion from the rest of the space. So now today, we're sitting at approximately $140 billion in market cap. So we can roughly and probably easily assume that Bitcoin's approximately $70 billion of that market capitalization. Now, I'm not a proponent of thinking that Bitcoin is the only blockchain use case. I think it's the only one that really acts as a store of value and my ability to transfer that store of value, leaving a massive amount of room for the use cases that blockchain and decentralized distributed ledgers can actually accomplish. Now, I'm not in the boat that thinks we need to remove all of the barnacles. The internet relies on having varied sources of information to find a better truth. And I think the decentralized world and all of the companies that exist in it are going to need that same one as well. So as we see Actually, over the last 7 days, there were some great spikes in price, but that's irrelevant. I'm more interested in the long-term investment strategies over the next few months, because once I pick positions on the next ones, I'm just going to let them ride. I will do a little bit of swing trading, or I'll get into it. Again, we saw Flow have a nice 100% run, then drop back down, then make another big run. So there's a lot of momentum to be playing in this space. So I think it's important to keep our eyes on it as well, because it's fun to do, and it can be valuable for those who are wanting to add to their portfolio on the weekends or whatever it might be. So give us those thumbs up if you like this content. I know we didn't dive too much into anything deeply today because we're not making any trades, although there's some nice ones that are going to be coming up on the table here really soon. This is the point where I'm suspecting Bitcoin is going to turn around. We've hit that $4,000 area multiple times on the flat of that triangle. It doesn't look good. I do suspect we'll see a price reversal and probably a drop to the $2,800 area in the next few weeks. So I am mostly out of all of my positions, aside again from the original Bitcoin that I bought, which I have not touched at all. It sits and I will not touch it. I'm not going to do anything with it because I'm not necessarily concerned with look, I've said this many times before, and I don't know if anyone actually understands. I know many of you will understand this. What the hell am I talking about? I've met some of you. You're all brilliant. Many of you will understand this, but I'm not here to just have more assets and make more money. This is all about personal development, growth, the ability to be excited about failure and to be excited about things that go wrong, and be supportive of the individuals that are going through the tragedy of life, just like myself. Trying to be supportive and help others bear their own burden is a great deal more valuable to me than money. Money can offer answers to some of those problems if maybe someone needs financial help during the burdens that they might be having, but personal growth and development often just requires that you tell someone that they're important to you and that you love them. Anyways, this is Theo with the Arcane Bear. You know all that fun stuff. I'm sure you are all brilliant people. Thank you all again. One more time, smash that thumbs up button, subscribe, do all those fun things. Join the Telegram channel if you haven't. We are working to turn the newsletter back on, getting all the bits connected, and hopefully some writers brought on board. I want to give a shout out to all the Bear family administrators. You guys are fantastic. I couldn't manage any of this without you. So I deeply appreciate the support. And to all of the Bear family, we'll see you guys again soon. I've had a great day, and I hope you are as well.